Yes, we're here with a legend, Jimmy Nicholl. How are you doing, mate? All right?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Shane.
Thanks very much for coming on.
Not at all.
We're in Port Collis. What a gaff, eh? So is this your local or is it still the Loudon?
Brilliant.
We'll get a few pints after this, eh?
In the Loudon?
I'll get chucked out there.
Yeah.
Always ask my most important question first, so here it goes. Have you ever had a go on Jimmy Calderwood's sunbed? Did you ever get a shot?
Jimmy never had a sunbed.
Did he know that?
No.
Is that lies?
Jimmy never had a sunbed. I know he's from Govan, and it doesn't look as though he is a Govan man, but his mother and his father and his wife, his sons, they're all the same.
Are they right?
They're all, but
Jimmy
never went on a sunbed. Never.
Great colour, wasn't it? It's a great colour.
It was a brilliant colour, no wonder, because we used to go to New York every
I heard
year.
that. That's coming by the way, Magaluf.
Oh yeah, and Jimmy had a place there. We used to go and crash out at his place.
And you would go with the boys, wouldn't you? The team, you take the teams?
Yeah, well he did it when he was in Holland. So when he came to Dunfermline, he did the same thing at the end of the season. Staff, players, chairman, directors, all go to Magaluf, go to the Guadalupe Hotel, get a deal in the Guadalupe, near the Britannia, the piano bar.
Perfect place.
And it was great during the day, a bit of crack during the day, and then there was only one rule, you had to be in, what was it, it's Papa Joe's down there beside.
Papa Joe's, uh-huh.
Yeah, you had to be in Papa Joe's for 7 o'clock at night, and if you weren't there at 7 o'clock, then you got fined. And because the boys are on the beach all day drinking daiquiris and all, they're out their brains for a week, you know, so that was the only rule you had. And then go over, walk across to the Guadalupe Hotel, have your dinner, shard and ready, then back out again. That's when the boys used to then, with all of it drinking the Britannia, and then the streets just went, the young ones went up that street and we went up the other street. You know?
I'm not asked what street that was.
No.
Right, we're going to talk about your career now, mate. Born in Canada, but was it not until you relocated to Belfast that you found a love for football?
Well, I was in Canada, but I left there when I was 3.
3,
Yeah, so I
You're not kicking a ball at 2 now?
Well, your man Dal Taylor's pictures of you kicking a ball at 2 or 3, but, you know, and then I was out, my dad went back to Belfast, and my man's from Greenock.
Oh, sure, right?
And she's a Greenock woman, She was
a good player?
And she's a good player, yeah, Greenock Morton. And I better not say anything about Morton after getting beat last week, but she's a Greenock woman, and they met in Toronto, they got married. Had 3 lads, I was the eldest at 3, and then my dad decided to come back to Belfast. He was a goalkeeper, he played for Ballymena United.
Oh, did he, right?
Aye, and he was offered a chance to go to Toronto to play soccer, as they call it. There's an opportunity to come to play football, earn a few bob, we'll get you a job. And that's why he ended up there. And my mum was visiting her sister, who was getting married, and they met at the dancing. And they got married there. And my dad was playing, and he was playing for, well, it was a team called Ulster United.
Was it?
I won't say what foot I kicked was, but he was playing for Ulster United, and through that he was picked for Ontario All-Stars as a goalkeeper in 1957. I was born in 56, so in 57 he was picked for the All-Star team against Spurs, who were on a tour.
Right.
Danny Blanchard and Bill Nicholson was the manager and all these players. And he played against Spurs, and he was brilliant. According to my mate, he was brilliant. And Danny Blanchard, who was from Northern Ireland, went to Bill Nicholson and said, you better take that young goalkeeper. Take him, my dad was only 22 or something. Take him on the tour, the rest of the tour with us, and bring him back to London and sign him as a goalkeeper.
And what happened?
He said no.
Who, Bill Nicholson said no?
No, my dad.
Why?
He just didn't.
No, was he not that bothered?
I don't know what he was thinking about. Maybe London or what. I don't know what. I could have been sitting here with a Cockney accent. Can you imagine that? Like if they said yes and gone to Spurs. He didn't, but he didn't. So he came back to Northern Ireland and played there, and then just.
So you and your brothers, would you go and hit shots against your dad and stuff like that? Would you kick you
well, you know yourself. You don't need me to tell you, because we're all. I'd like to think you're all the same age. You did not play football with the dads and all the neighbours and all outside, did you not?
No?
Did you? That was our summer.
Yeah.
The men come back from work, in the house, get their coats off, and then into this big green area we had right in front of the house. And that was it, all the dads and all the kids and all playing football, that was it.
Brilliant, eh? Northern Ireland in the 70s, how hard was it to play while the Troubles were going on?
Well, you had to be quick. So, listen, mate, like, we were brought up in a place called Raith Rovers, and I always talk about it because it's the making of these places, just down to earth, hard-working people that go out and try and make a living. And, you know, I had the biggest paper in Rath. I had 173 papers, Protestant Catholic, from the bottom of Rath to the top, and all our neighbours were brilliant. And they went to different schools, of course. The Catholics went, we were not good exactly, they go to Stella Mars, they go to different schools, but they were still all your mates playing football and whatever. And there was nothing, it was a great place to get brought up.
And did you see anything bad, Jimmy?
And then, sorry?
Did you see any bad stuff, really bad stuff happening?
And not bad in a sense, because at that, you know, then they started bombing Belfast. So when they started bombing Belfast, then, you know, listen, all the Protestants wanted to come out of Belfast to go somewhere safer. We were a big council estate close to Belfast, so it was a wee bit, you know, then they moved into Rathcoole, and then all of a sudden Rathcoole became an all-Protestant estate, and, you know, so things changed very quickly. And
were you ever scared growing up?
Well, a couple of incidents. I mean, there was incidents where my brother got caught in Belfast once when they circled Belfast full of bombs. Everywhere you ran, you was just going around the circle. And our Joe was in our John, his name's John, but nickname of Joe, he was Joe 90, he used to wear glasses. But he was in a running club, and our Joe was up in Belfast, and then one went off, you just run away. Everybody's running, just run the circle. He got caught in Belfast the day the bombs went off in that circle. We're in Rathcoole, he's in Belfast, we couldn't get the hold of him. No phones or nothing, and we just had to wait until he came home, you know. My dad he was a bus driver, an Ulster bus, and he jumped in the bus, went up to see, you know, just to see if we could find him somewhere. But he arrived home all right, and cut and what have you. But there was a few incidents where, you know, you think, well, this is the way life's going to be, you know. But,
And then Man United come calling. So you relieved?
Well, the last Saturday of every month, at 15, when you're an apprentice at 15, the last Saturday of every month you're allowed to go home. And say I was playing against Preston, I was 15. Then I'd go from Preston to Liverpool, at 15, then get on the boat from Liverpool at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, get into Belfast 7 o'clock Sunday morning, then get a bus to Rathcoole, be with my family Sunday, Monday, then into Belfast, get the 9 o'clock boat, Belfast Monday night, get into Liverpool 7 o'clock in the morning, and then get a train to the training ground in Manchester. And you know, I see mothers picking up their kids at 17 years of age now. I was doing that at 15. The fights on a Saturday night, if Man United were home and Liverpool were at home, the fights on the boat, because the Man United Belfast supporters and the Liverpool, the fights on the boats on a Saturday night was scary. It was man overboard stuff, you know. I'm sitting there, what? One day, Tommy Dockett, he says to John Fitzpatrick who played for Aberdeen, Scotch fella, and he was at Man United. He was a great player, John. He was our youth coach. And he said to me, you're not allowed to go home this weekend. And I said, well, Tommy Dock told me to tell you, you're not allowed to go home. For no reason. So it had the opposite effect on me, so I just went home. And found out what was happening, what the troubles were, and then went back Tuesday. Tommy Dock, I told you weren't supposed to go home. I says, I know, but I had to find out what was wrong. I know what's wrong, and I won't say what it was and what it is, but the next thing you know, within, I think it was about 2 weeks later, he said, get back home and go back home now, bring your man down with you, I've got them a clubhouse.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Hadn't been lived in for 18 months. There was a son-in-law called Bill Folks, went to America, and I hadn't been lived in for 18 months. Went over, got my man there, flew us back to Manchester, picked us up at the airport, took us to this house in Sale, Cheshire, a 3-bedroom detached with a garage in a cul-de-sac.
Wow.
I mean, what's a cul-de-sac? Got this tree lined. This is brilliant. So the wee women were there for my man with the big, you know, wallpaper books and right, pick your wallpaper, pick your paint. The garden, the groundsman Gordon Love name from Old Trafford was cutting the grass.
No chance.
I'm telling you, it just, they looked at, and Les Alf was the secretary, and I said, this is brilliant. But we can't afford this, and Les says to me, just give me, I was 16 years of age. This was February 73. Yeah, I was 16, and I was on £7 a week. He said, give us a £5 a month rent, until your dad gets a job.
Wow. Was your mum and dad quite emotional about that?
Well, they were leaving Rathcoole, which the place, when they left Toronto, they go back to... we were one of the first ones in. Rathcoole was a brand new estate.
Yeah.
It was a great place, and they were one of the first ones in '59. And so they were there 14 years.
So did you get to see guys like Law and Charlton and that train?
Aye,
How were they with you?
Well, I was only apprentice. You were doing the dressing room, so we were training in a separate area.
Right.
But just about the place. When you didn't clean the dressing room and doing it, I mean, it was full on. And then Paddy Kearns' testimonial at Old Trafford, and the present day team played the '68 European Cup winning team, and I was playing. She said, "Buck, and you don't have to play." So I was playing sweeper, and they kicked off. Just kicked off, and Dennis Law's there, and I'm marking him, and he just turned around and he went, and he karate chopped me in the Adam's apple.
And a testimonial.
A testimonial just went, and I was bending over, couldn't get my breath, and I go up the park and they scored, and I wish it was on film, because when they scored, I was still. And he just came past me, and he was at the club too. And he says, "Listen, son, if you're going to make it," he says, "there's a lot more of that came from over the years, for the years to come."
That's brilliant, too.
Holy, but just watching him finishing and training. Bobby Charlton, I remember reading an article, and he says, "I woke up one morning, I think he was 30 or 31. I woke up one morning and I thought, I don't fancy training here." And he packed it in at the end of the season. Because that one morning, he woke up and he didn't fancy going in training. He packed the game in.
Because he loved it so much before it, huh?
Yeah, and then years and years later, he could have played till he was 40, Bobby Charlton, easy. And years later, he said it was the biggest regret in football was retiring when he did. Because he could have played a lot longer, you know.
Right, George Best. Can you remember the first time you seen him play football?
1968. Well, seen him before that playing for Northern Ireland, of course, you know, but 1968, that's when it really, when he's playing for Man Utd and they beat Benfica in the European Cup final. And we had a colour TV, one of the early colour TVs, we had it in our place in Rathcoole.
Yeah.
So everybody was in the house. Man Utd were playing on all blue, all dark blue against Benfica. And Best, and he was only 21 one day, dribbles around the goalkeeper and scores it for it. And that was it. You were straight out on with the ball. Everybody was Geordie Best out in the grass, you know. But he was a best. And if people ask me who's the best, I've got to say Best. It's not because of the Northern Ireland thing, although he played for Man Utd, who was supported Northern Ireland. It was just everything about him, you know. You look at him now. That's why I talk about Pelé. You're the same, Maradona and Messi and Ronaldo. I know that, but these boys were getting kicked from pillar to post, and Pelé still scores 1,000 goals. Best is getting kicked from pillar to post every week. They do that. All them boys just scrape their legs down the back. His calves were like that, scraped every Monday morning with fullbacks just raking the back of his calves whenever the, you know, say you're playing Chelsea and Chelsea's attacking and Best is on halfway line, Ron Harris and all them boys, you just
smash them.
And Larry Brown used to tell me stories about him coming in on Monday morning. I used to ask questions about him all the time. He said his legs were just, his calves were that size, stud marks scraped down, and you're not training today, stick a plaster on them, be all right. Brave. Could head a ball. He was voted one of the best tacklers in the league. He used to chase opponents and wrap his leg around the ball and get up.
I've seen videos of that, and then go and dribble it.
And balance, and riding tackles. It was all about balance. There was no chops, there was no Cruyffs, there was no, whatever they call the tricks. There was all just balance, riding tackles left and right. Jimmy Johnson, Willie Henderson, all these boys. They're all the same.
Did he take to you straight away, George Best, being an Northern Irishman?
It was the same again, and Tommy Dock brought him back. Brilliant. I thought this is a gift because he'd gone. And Tommy Dock brought him back. This is a gift for us. He's in the dressing room, you see him. You let him know you're from Northern Ireland. All right, do you want your boots done and all that? Where are you from, son? You know, all this carry on. Brilliant. And that was the feeling. And then Tommy Dock. There was, he left then, he wasn't there too long, and Tommy Dock.
Did you ever get a night out of him?
Aye, because he came and played for Northern Ireland, didn't he?
So what was he like?
Listen. He was just...
Filmston?
Listen. He was playing for Fulham. And we're playing Holland in a World Cup qualifying game in Holland. And Danny Blanchflower brought him into the Northern Ireland squad. And I'll never forget it, we're at the post house, the first time really being in the company in any length of time. And I didn't think he was going to show up. It was a post house in Coventry on a Sunday night. And we had our meal, and Danny Blanchflower, he says, listen lads, you can have a couple of beers. We're playing the Wednesday, you can have a couple of beers, but don't believe in the hotel and don't be going daft. And it was great because we'd all be together at the bar, 8:30, 9 o'clock, telling stories about the club, just like you used to.
Yeah.
And Martin O'Neill's telling Brian Clough stories, and it was brilliant. But George Best was in the squad, but he wasn't there for his dinner. Nobody had seen him during the day. And there was a good-looking girl behind the bar, right? And I won't tell you who the player was, but there was a player that was staying there. He was playing for one of the Midlands teams. And he came and he says, right lads, hey, girl behind the bar. He says, I've been here for 2 or 3 weeks, and so I'm just,
I've got a cat back.
Yeah. So it didn't bother us. Let's be married and not some of the boys. We were just having a laugh. And Best shows up 10:30. The FA had locked him in his room. They picked him up after the Fulham game and said, right, huckled him in the car, you're not going anywhere. And he was quite happy at it. He said, do it, because I want to play for Northern Ireland, but if I stay in London on Saturday night, I'm not guaranteed to. So huckled him in the car. This was him telling us at night. Got him in the car, in the hotel, locked him in the room, kept bringing food and drinking all up for him, and he shows up at 10:30. And you see, and he just sat down and said, great, how you doing? Great. No, he's having a pint with the boys and telling us what happened. And then the bloke came up, and we'd seen the girl going over to this player at the end of the bar. And then the player coming over and just tapping him on the shoulder. He's sitting on a stool at the bar, and he just said, and the player tapped him on the shoulder and said, you think you're brilliant, you, don't you? What? Nick and my girlfriend. He says, I haven't even spoken to her. So he goes, excuse me, look, come here. But he's giving me a hard time. He says that I've nicked his girlfriend. That's right, George. You're with me tonight.
Brilliant, man.
And he hadn't even spoke there.
They just women loved him.
They loved him, and blokes loved him because he loved blokes.
Was he a good laugh in it as well?
He's a brilliant. He wasn't one for telling a lot of story. He just loved other, everybody else telling stories and talking football and all. And he played against Holland in that game, and I mean, we're talking here about a career. I could talk about him all night, because he played against Holland. He played in the middle of the park. He was 31, 32 years of age, and he run the show with Cruyff and Neeskens and all the. Holland were a great team at the time, and he just run the show, and he nutmegged Cruyff.
Did he?
And he nutmegged Neeskens, and he just.
How did Cruyff take that? Was he agent?
Oh well, listen. Years later, there was a boy called Rudy Crowe, played centre half for Holland. He's a great player, Rudy Crowe. One of these big, elegant sweeper, back and bar types and passing, and I used to love watching Rudy Crowe. And I always tell the boys about the story about Best. When we drew 2 each with Holland and Rotterdam, and Best nutmegging Cruyff and Neeskens, right? And I was telling JC, Jimmy Calderwood, or whatever. And one day a Rangers game on Wednesday night, and we're in the blue room, and Jimmy says, that's Rudy Crowe. He must be working for Dutch FA. Don't know who they were playing, I can't remember. You might have been watching Arthur Newman, I can't remember, but that's you're joking, is that Rudy Crowe? Aye, God, I'd love to meet him. So Jimmy went over, speaking Dutch, waves me over, and then he says, it's Mr. Crowe, it's great to play. I played for Northern Ireland against Holland and Rotterdam in 1977, and we drew 2 each, and without even saying anything, I said, yeah, I know, and George Best, he nutmegged Cruyff, yeah! We were all laughing, yeah! I didn't like him, And he said, there you are, it's confirmed my story, brilliant.
Oh, brilliant, amazing. How was Old Trafford to play it?
Oh, it could be nerve-wracking. It's great being cheered by 50-odd thousand, but can you handle being booed by 50-odd thousand? And I didn't get off to a great start because Alec was really popular. Alec Forsyth was a full-back, would just score from 25, 30 yards with his right foot, left foot up and down the lane, and I was more of a passer and get
Cultured,
it. And, you know, just passing, we had a pass into strikers and what have you. I was a different type of player altogether, but I didn't get off to a good start when I scored an own goal against Man City in my debut.
Oh, did you? Huh?
Yeah, not my actual debut, my derby debut which wasn't. It was only a few weeks after I made my debut at Old Trafford and went to Main Road, and that was it. There was Joe Royal. There was a long ball over the middle. Joe Royal, centre forward of Man City's trying to get onto it. Buchan's trying to get onto it, and I'm coming in to defend, and I knocked it, and I got there first. You could pick a ball up in them days as a keeper. So about 35 yards out, and I knocked it back to the keeper, and the keeper was standing where you're sitting.
Over his head.
Because he came this way as well, because he thought he was going to get it.
Yeah.
Knocked it over his head, one bouncing in the net. At Main Road, in the derby debut. And years later, I was there 11 years, from 71 to 82. On the left, they did a radio programme, a boy called Tom Turrell said, Jimmy, you come on Radio Piccadilly and do his phone in, saying you're leaving to go to Toronto Monday with supporters. I says, I'll do it. I'll do it, and I'll just see how it goes and just talk about the times I've had and the memories and a bit of laugh and all. And it was going all right. People phoned in, and the very last phone call, we'll just take this last call. And the bloke says, all right, Jimmy. I said, all right. He says, I hate you, and I'll always hate you.
For that goal at City?
For that goal that you scored against Manchester City about 9 years ago.
See when you done...
Said, God, oh mate, this is...
See when you scored that goal against Man City, young kid, would Tommy Docherty go through it?
No. And it was strange because there was only one sub in them days, and we David McCreary was from Northern Ireland, played for Hearts, and we D was sub, and we D come on for Man United and scored the equaliser. So we drew 2 each. So I'd scored the own goal, so I was the villain, and then we D came on, he was the hero 2 each. But they didn't. Tommy Doc never. Listen, I know it's getting a wee bit, but it's just things that I always say there's nothing weird and wonderful about football. There's things that happened to me when I was 16, 17 that still relate to today. And I remember we played Arsenal at home. I was having a terrible time. I was getting booed by 50,000 people. And then when you go away from home, you think, oh, geez, thank God we're away. There's 15, 20,000 Man United supporters away. You're still getting hammered.
Yeah.
And we played Arsenal at Old Trafford. And I remember running down it and crossing the ball. And Stuart Pearson scored a header. And I was, oh God, I've contributed some. I beat them 1-0 and I've contributed, so I felt. And then the Monday morning, he says, well, that's it, son, you passed the test. And I says, what test, Gav? And he says, the test. I says, well, I don't know what you're talking about, but I thought you were going to drop me about 8 weeks ago because I've been hopeless for you. He says, I know that. He says, so we're just waiting for you to see if can you handle it or you can't. It takes more than ability to make as a player. You got to have some of your character and your makeup, your temperament.
Yeah. And
we're just waiting for you to walk into a position where you couldn't receive the ball because I know that you've gone there. You don't want to be in the ball. But you kept getting the ball. He says, and always remember, I don't care for you. If you get 1,000 touches and make 989 mistakes, I don't care. I'd rather have that than you only had 10 touches.
And
you know what? And see, since then, and after that, but he didn't talk to you for 8 weeks. He didn't say, come on, you're better than that, or come on, try this. Just let you get on with it.
You had to get through it yourself. That's coaching, isn't it?
It is in a sense. It's looking at people's character. And to this day, I still say it, and I said, whether a manager, assistant manager, whatever level you're working at, I said, listen, I've been in the end of heavy defeats. I've done it, I've seen it all. But if I see any's walking in the position where you can't receive a ball from your teammate, I'm going to drop you. Or I'm going to say to the manager, look at this, whatever. And I think it still applies to today.
Brilliant. So as you said, you went back to Toronto. Why was that?
Well, the reason why I went there in the first place was Ron Atkinson, Dave Sexton got the sack. I had a year in my contract to go at Man Utd. And with Dave, I'd agreed a pay raise, a testimonial, everything. A 3-year contract. And Dave got the sack. So Ron Atkinson got the job. And it was a summer, and I went to see Les Alves. I said, Les, before we came back in pre-season, Les, I'm just back on holiday. Dave's gone. And he says, you're right, Jimmy. He said, we know about that. We're going to honour the agreement. And the manager's in the office. So I went next door and just rapped the door. All right, boss. Jimmy, I go, how you doing? Good luck to you. Hope it works out for you. And he says, thanks very much. He said, sit down. And I said, well, I just came to see you about, I had a 3-year agreement with Dave. He says, I know all about it. I said, I put the block on it. And I said, what? I put the block on it. I said, why? He said, do you think you're fast? And I said, well, Tony Daly is quick outside left, the winger. Clive Woods, Ipswich. But apart from that, no, I think I'm all right. He says, nah, I think you're slow. Can't defend properly, can't head a ball, you can't tackle. Right? He went through the card. I was only in the office 2 minutes. And I said, well, do you know what? He said, so put a block on it. I said, well, thanks for being honest and upfront me. At least I know I've got a chance now in the summer to find myself another club. Put me on the list. If that's how you feel, but you've been upfront. And he says, no, don't be so hasty. He says, I've seen you play sweeper a few times for United and for Northern Ireland. He says, I don't fancy booking. I says, what? I said, I don't fancy booking. He said, so there's 5 games pre-season. You play 2, Martin are playing 2, and the 5th one, and if you play sweeper, like I've seen you, you'll play the 5th one, you'll start the season. And I said, can I say something? See, 5 minutes ago, I respected you for being up front with me and telling me what you thought of me as a player. And 5 minutes ago, you told me at right back, I can't defend properly, I'm too slow, I can't hit a ball and I can't tackle. But I can do it one in. But if I go 5 yards to the right, I can do it. I said, get me on the list, you big... And I went through him like a dose of salt. I took
Good
an
for
instant.
you, man.
And I said, get me on the list and get me out of here.
What was the highlight of your Man Utd career? Cup 77?
Yeah, definitely.
How good was that?
The best, because you were the underdogs by a country mile. We were the underdogs. Liverpool had won the league the week before. They were playing the European Cup on the Wednesday night. And Man United were underdogs because Liverpool were going for the treble.
Who was top for Liverpool? Just saw it in. Who was top players then?
Oh, Keegan and all them boys. Wow. Geez, Tommy Smith, Phil Thompson, all these boys. Even the fullbacks. Phil Neal was scoring goals. And, that would have made a part-time McDermott. All. They were a great team, so they did. And that's what I'm saying. We never won at Anfield. We couldn't win a game at Anfield. And there was the two youngest fullbacks ever to appear in a cup final. It was me and Arthur Albiston, the wee Scottish boy. We grew up together at 15. We were at the club at the same time. And Stuart Houston broke his ankle. And we Arthur got in and played really well. Stevie Highway was outside left. And Jimmy Case was outside right. So Arthur was up against Jimmy Case. He was a hard man. And Steve Highway, Republic of Ireland, he was a good player. And these are the weaknesses, the fullback. And then whenever you hear that the weaknesses, because it's a big build-up. Yeah. And we kept hearing the same thing.
But the use were the weaknesses, you and...
Maybe Arthur, because the 2 young fullbacks were Jimmy Case and Stevie Highway. And so when you come through that and you win the game, that certainly was... was
that the family there not as well, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. What about celebrations after it? How would you celebrate an FA Cup win?
Back to the hotel in London. Then have a Yahoo and all the wives and the girlfriends and the mas and the dads and it was a brilliant occasion for everybody. And then up the next day, in the train, back up to Manchester, then in the town hall Sunday night, then all the women go home. And then we were all
then the party starts.
Yeah, and then all the Sunday night. I mean, Sunday, I can remember Saturday night, but I can't remember Sunday night.
Well, see, back then, was it a big drinking? So you playing with the first team of Man United, was it a big drinking culture?
God.
How often a week would you go out?
God. See, when I think back, oh my God.
That's brilliant, man. I love it.
Oh, Saturday night. We were team-handed. Saturday night. And when you're young and you're growing up and you're perfume everywhere, great. But then you settle down. And even when you were married and we'd all go out together. But it sounds old. But we'd go to Golden Garden, wouldn't you? Which is a cabaret night, chicken in a basket, and scampi in a box. When you'd singers and you'd dancers, cabaret, you'd groups, all the barren nights, you'd just all these Frank Cars and you'd all these. It was a cabaret night. And we're all together on this big table, and then if you wanted to go into a nightclub in Manchester, you would go in. And you'd be out there, and then that was Saturday night with the women. Sunday lunch, then again. And Tommy Docherty says, listen, if you win on Saturday, you're off Sunday, off Monday, train hard Tuesday, golf Wednesday, which a club will take you out. Golf Wednesday, warm up, crossing and finishing 5-a-side on a Thursday, 5-a-side on a Friday. And that was our working week.
Wow.
We were out. Monday off, we were out golfing Monday. Worked hard Tuesday. Out Tuesday night.
Wednesday golf.
Think back and tell lies. Monday night was our night. The players, we'd be in Sands nightclub on a Monday night. Every Monday night, we'd be in there.
And then train on the Tuesday.
Aye. And you thought because, well, I'm working hard Tuesday, I'll get all
Get
the beer out of it. But you're up to 3 or 4 in the morning, and you think, you only got 5 hours skip or something. And then he lined us up against the wall one day. He said, God, you smell a drink right here, he says. Because you all had to go. It wasn't. And he just, and he lined us up against the wall. He goes, breathe. You had to go, fade.
Oh, I was born in the wrong era. That's brilliant.
Monday night, Tuesday work hard. Sometimes Tuesday night we'd meet again. Tuesday night we'd be down in the AI club, snooker. We'd play snooker and have a quiet night. Wednesday golf. There was a fiver hit Stableford, and then the club matched it, and it was first, second, and third, and it was really well done. Do the prize money and all, and Mere Golf Club, all nice golf clubs looked after us. Then a few beers, and then you made it carried on up to that. And then that just sounds shocking. I never felt any different. And
everyone was doing that. Every other team was doing that as well.
Everybody was doing it, but it was just. Do you know we did the same thing for 4 years? We did the same warm up, and the thing was, if you get beaten a Saturday, you're in Monday.
Right.
So your incentive. I mean,
you're desperate to win it.
I can't even remember. I never had appearance money. I can't even remember what my bonus money was.
So do you think coaching's gone mad now? See on that when you said you've done the same thing for 4 years. Do you think coaching because now it's a different session every day?
Yeah, no, but
do you think it's gone mad now?
No, I think you need a wee bit of. I remember reading a book and it says, so it was Sir Matt Busby's book. I stumbled on it in a bookshop. It was a wee thin red book. I remember opening it up and just reading it, and he says that management. He said is 90% personality and 10% knowledge. And I always remember. I was only young reading that. I thought, God, there's maybe a lot of truth in it. But as the game has evolved now, you can't because there's different systems.
Yeah.
You know,
so
people have to think
now,
of different ways to break down different systems, how to get the best out of your players in a certain system against that system, which is right. You got to do it.
Yeah.
And you can't. But in them days, everybody played 4-4-2.
So it was just better 11 players would win.
Yeah.
Because you're both the same systems.
Exactly right.
Brilliant. Right, Toronto, we'll get on to that. James McPake told us to ask you about the story about you losing your car.
Oh, did I?
What happened?
Well, I went to Toronto because I was born in Canada.
Yeah.
So I was classed as a Canadian.
Right.
And you had to play 3 Canadians. So they were playing college kids and all this. So they came to when Northern Ireland played France in March 82, and they says, I'm representing Toronto Blizzards. We want to come to Toronto. I've got to get out of here because I'm with Ron Atkinson. I'm training with the kids. And Billy Bingham says, the manager in Northern Ireland, as long as you keep yourself fit, and as long as every time you play for us, you play well, you'll be all right. Sort that situation out. But that's why I went to Toronto. And I was doing the paperwork, and Davy Fairclough came. Remember Davy Fairclough? He played for Liverpool. He was a super sub, ginger haired boy, and he came in the summer of '82. And we were there till end of September, something like that, first week in October, because I got the final end of September. And I had this big car that gave me this big thing. And me and Fairclough's flying back. So it's 6 months in the summer with Toronto and 6 months in the winter. So whoever wanted me for 6 months could have me. I had to play all year round just to keep playing. So I went to Sunderland for 6 months in '82. And Cathy Burns, who was a Scotch woman, was a secretary. And we're at the airport, and all the players, there was Scotch boys, there was English boys, there was South Africans, me and Fairclough's leaving. And when such a good come on, we're seeing these guys off at the airport. And I had this big car, and it had all my stuff in it. And there was an announcement, we're all sitting in the bar drinking. And there was an announcement, can I James Nicholl please report back to such and such a desk? And I went back, you got to phone this number. And it was a club. Kathy, yeah, Jimmy Nick, what's up? Oh, the paperwork's, we've cocked the paperwork up, your international clearance. You better come back to the club and fly back tomorrow. So I said, oh, jeez, I got to get them on my luggage back up. I go put it in the car, go back to the airport, having a few beers with the lads. Say cheerio to Fairclough, he's flying back.
Right.
I go in the car, what are you doing? I'm going back to the hotel then. I'll need to check in the hotel and then go to the club in the morning. Nah, not at all. Come on, we'll take you out. Come on, we're downtown Toronto. I said, I said, I'll bring the car and I'll stay for an hour and I'll go to the hotel. Went in the car, all my luggage, passport, $30,000 banker's draft, diamond rings, diamond earrings for the wife. Everything was in this car. Drive down Toronto, drop the boys off at this bar. I said, listen, I'll park the car, and so I'll be able to. I parked the car, went into the bar and finished the night off, came out. Where's my car? I couldn't remember where my car. I parked it that well, I forgot where I parked it. Right? I thought, Jesus, now about 2 a.m, I was going to drive to the hotel. Dude. I said, Jesus, what the hell? I'm walking around Toronto with the same clothes on I had from early on. Nat, I said, I can't keep this up. Taxi, hotel, wake up in the morning, go to the club with the same clothes. See Kathy Burns. Kathy, do the paperwork. He says, right, and Kathy got a problem with. Went out with the boys last night, took a car down Toronto. Don't know where it is. I can't remember where I parked it. See, you're joking, but the police are looking for it. Everybody's, my passport and everything was in it. Couldn't find it. The Toronto's finest. Couldn't find this motor. Big 8 foot, like black Mercedes. And, jeez. So then she phones your British. So my flight's come. I've got the same clothes on. I'm dirty, scruffy, stinking. And she phones the British Embassy. And she speaks to somebody at the British Embassy, who speaks to somebody at Toronto Airport, who speaks to somebody at Heathrow, who speaks to somebody at Manchester. And I got on that flight that night. Couldn't find the car. I got on that flight with a Toronto Blizzards programme with my picture on it. I was like, number 5. Jimmy Nicholl. I go, hey, to the airport.
Passport.
That was how I got in. And I said to James Nicholl, the club's been on the British Embassy. And the girls at Air Canada says, Air Canada says,
Did the car eventually get found? Did the car get found to her?
So I get home. Like I get in, I get through her with the Toronto Blizzard programme with my picture on it. That's me. Get me in the car. And I get a Heathrow, they're waiting on me. Heathrow, come here. It turned out he was a football man. The boy we are Canada, he was a football man. He said, come here, Johnny. All the football man. I get him with that programme.
That's brilliant.
And then that's magic. And then, so I go to Sunderland on loan with Alan Durbin till the following April. And I'm sitting in this flat in Sunderland. Me and the wife and my daughter, she was only 2 or 3, sitting in this flat in the middle of winter. And the phone goes, it's Kathy Burns. And I said, hi Kathy, how you doing? Oh, I says, Jimmy, right, you'll never guess. Right, I found your motor. I said, what? You're joking. Where was it? She says, there was a building site. And they were doing some building somewhere. And the building had finished. And they'd moved on. But I had parked it in between two workmen's huts.
All right.
Right? I parked it between 2 workmen's huts where they used to use and this building site. Oh, aye! That's where it was. I parked it with 2 mobile huts in the workers and they were off the site and they hadn't been, and somebody had found it. Everything was in it.
That's one of the best so far, done it.
Everything was in it.
Well,
that 30,000, the banker's draft, the diamond, the
programmes
and the program I get into Heathrow. You look at these days, you think, oh my God, you can't even get away with it. Toothbrush.
Tremendous. Right, we'll get to the bit that most people want to hear. When did you first hear the Rangers were wanting you? The first time? Yeah, it was a loan spell, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a loan spell because I was back in Toronto, so it was Toronto, Sunderland.
Did you have an agent back then, Johnny?
Yeah, I did, but
I
stitched him up a wee bit.
Right.
So, Toronto, Sunderland, Toronto, and then come back to England. Because I've got to find myself, all the boys used to go to Bermuda and go to Florida and all. the Toronto Blizzard boys. They
Right.
had 6 months off, but I had to keep playing for Northern Irish, so I had to find a club. And I was all set up to go to Burnley with John Bond. and the agent was at it, so he was at it. And the secretary turned around and says, I was only 6 months. And all I went, just give me a wage, I just want to keep playing. It was a lot less. I was getting paid all year round by Toronto Blizzards anyway, so just give me. And I went to Burnley. I'm in the secretary's office. And he says, you must be some player, you. And I said, I think I was getting about £300 a week or something.
Right.
And it didn't bother me. He said, you must be some player, you. I says, what are you talking about? 6 months? And we're giving you £30,000 sign-on fee. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about.
The agent was taking it.
And he just said to me, Jim, you go to Burnley for 300 quid. I'll go to Burnley for 300 quid a week. I never said to him, what, there's no sign-on fee? I wouldn't even think of a sign-on fee for 6 months. I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that somebody wanted me to play so I could keep fit for Northern Ireland. That was it. And I says, what? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, 300 quid a week and 30 grand sign-on fee for 6 months. You must be some player. Is that right? Okay. That won't be happening. Don't worry. And I walked out and jumped in the car and back to Manchester. And the wife said, I thought you were Burnley. I said, no, I just walked out. And then I got a phone call. And there was Ian Monroe, who had played with at Sunderland.
Right.
He said, Jim, because we were phoning. He said, what's happening with you? I said, I've just walked out of Burnley. He said, do you want to go to Rangers? John Gregg's been on the phone. Do you want to... And I was up the road. I was in the Bellahouston Hotel on Thursday night. I was in the Swallow in the Bellahouston on the Thursday night, sorry. I went in the Rangers, signed at 9 o'clock on the Thursday night, walked across, back in the hotel, Friday morning, having breakfast, 8 o'clock in the morning, and there was a wee man in the corner. And he said, all the best to Rangers, son. I'd signed on Thursday night at 9 o'clock. 8 o'clock in the morning, the hotel said, all the best to Rangers, son.
Already?
So it's man, right?
Yeah.
And I had, I'll never forget, believe it or not, cardigans were all the rage. And so I had a cardigan, but a big sort of jackety cardigan, shirt, cardigan, no tie on. And so I walked over, and John McClown, Davy Cooper met everybody. And we're in there was a tunnel there, and they'd always kick a ball before. And we, Tommy McLean comes out and says, right, meeting lads in the dressing room. And I said to John, well, what's a meeting for? He says, to discuss tomorrow's game, you know. And I was all right. Walked in, John says, well, I've been thinking about this for a long time now, lads, and it's not working out. He says, so that's it, I'm resigning, right? I'd signed on Thursday night, not a word was said, and he resigned for it. John never even seen me train. He never even seen me train, never mind play. He resigned on Friday morning, whenever I signed on the Thursday night. Just went around shaking everybody's hand. Good luck, lads. Thanks for your good luck. Good luck, Jim. I was sitting like that.
Did you not go to anyone and say, like, what's happening here?
Listen, we're sitting 4th or 5th in the league. There's about 10, 11, 12,000 people at the games. It was horrific.
Was
it
it?
never bothered me. Because there's another chance. Let's play for Man Utd, play for Rangers. This is great. It never bothered me. I never even looked at the league tables or attendances. Just an opportunity to go there for 6 months. But it was bad. It was bad. I mean, Davy Cooper and Bobby Russell said, what are you doing here, Jimmy? I said, you're joking, lads. I said, no, I said, fool, you'll find out.
Really?
And it was bad.
Why was it so bad? Why was it so
Aberdeen
bad?
and Dundee United were winning everything. Celtic were finishing 4th and 5th. So were Rangers. The Aberdeen, Dundee United were the teams at the time. But anyway, John resigned, and then big Jock Wallace got the job.
And how did Jock Wallace change it? Did he bring that winning mentality back to Rangers?
Yeah.
Is he scary?
I mean, right away, he was scary.
Is he? Is that the first manager you've probably been scared of?
Yeah. Yeah. Because he had this meeting about how he was going to turn things around. And I'm telling you, everything's a great. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. Everything's a great.
Sounds like my missus.
But I was pumped up the eyeballs. He said, right, Nick, get over there, go train him. We're going to train him, we're going to train hard. And I just, we came out the dressing room. And I said to Davy Cooper and Bobby and the boys, said, what? So what about that, eh? What about that? And Davy says, The big man's quieter second time around. I said, well, he must have been mental the first time. I was pumped the eyeballs. And he would grab you in the morning and do this. See, you wouldn't get away with it. That's, and he would grab you and, not close enough, son, make sure that's close to tomorrow morning. Then you'd be outside the front door. Once you set foot outside the front door at Ibrox to go over to the training pitch, you had your socks rolled up and you had the jog. You weren't allowed to be seen walking, your hands in your pockets, and you had the jog.
Did you like the standards?
Yeah, brilliant. It was discipline.
Yeah.
It was discipline and standards and whatever you want to call it. But it was discipline, not to be lazy. He thought if you didn't shave, you're being lazy. Yeah. If you didn't look after yourself, you're being lazy. And he certainly turned things around. And he used to have these meetings. And he had the meeting every Monday at a meeting about the game on Saturday. And you had to say something different. Now, there's nothing...
It's hard to change
football,
it up.
if you're sitting there, there's a big Peter McCoist sitting there, and I'm sitting here. And if he starts over there, right, Ollie McCoist or whoever, it doesn't matter. Says, right, what do you think about Saturday? I didn't think we played well as a team. What do you think? Well, I think we're sitting too deep as a back forward. And you go round and round.
Every single person, you have to come up with something different.
And I'm sitting here. He never started here. It's always over there. And so by the time I get round to you, it's like, well, I did. So it'd come to me and said, well, the boys have mentioned most things. I mean, how much can you cover in a game and what have you? And then that was all right. And he, right, come on, let's go training. And then this particular Monday, he says, and he goes, right, over there, it might have been Ali Dawson, John McClellan. Right, you ain't got a game. Oh, here we go again. Well, I didn't think we kept the ball long enough. And then he turned around and go, points to me. Now, what was in there came out there. Because I'm thinking, I'm going to wait my time here. I better think of something. And what I was thinking, he goes, right, Nicholl, what do you think about the game Saturday? And I says, does it really matter what we think? When have you ever acted on anything we've said at all your meetings?
Did you say that?
And my face was going bright red. I felt it. And he's there, and I'm here, and I can see everybody in behind him going, I can see it. My face going red. And he said, what? Because I was sitting thinking this. Well, what does it really matter what we say? Because you never do anything about it anyway. We'll go over there and we'll work hard with train, but you don't. So I don't see the relevance of these meetings, because nothing happens. If we turn around and say the back four's too deep, we never work on a back four up the park. If I say there's no runs from the middle of the park, we don't work on midfield runners getting beyond. We just go and work hard and trade and bump it, dude. So nothing happens. And I said, well, I'm just saying. You're just saying. I says, aye, because you're so domineering a character. You just dominate everything, right?
You said that to him, did you?
And I felt myself, I was shaking. I swear, I thought he was going to punch me in the bollocks.
And was he all right?
He's like this, and he just goes, dominating. I'll give you dominating. He says, right there, laddies, get over that training pitch right now. And away you go, I'll give you dominating. And I walked down over the training, and about 3 or 4 weeks later, we used to always have a wee Spain break, Mallorca, Sunday to Thursday. And you do your meal, and then before you went 7 o'clock, and then before you went out, you had to have a drink with Big Jock and his assistant manager, Ali Tutton, at the bar. And you would go and have a drink and all with them, and then talking football and a laugh and all. But every now and again, one or two would go to the toilet, and then they wouldn't come back, and another two would go to the toilet, not come back, and the numbers are going down and down. Right? So they come back on a Thursday morning, and he's in the airport, Palma, and I'm walking up with 2 or 3 lads, and he's there, well, like, and he's, hey, Nicholl, come here, you. And I walk back, and he just looked, and he says, I've been thinking what you said to me 4 weeks ago at that meeting. And I was shaking then, I was shaking even more now. And he said, I was thinking what you said 4 weeks ago at that meeting. You said I was dominating, but do you mean that you'd rather, instead of you talking, that you'd rather listen to me talking about the game? I says, Aye. That's exactly what I mean, Gavin. Oh, I love you, he answered, I didn't know what to do. He answered my own question for me.
Thank God.
You'd rather listen to me. And I said, yeah, but I'd rather listen to you, Gav, than us talking. Oh,
so you could get a laugh from him as well, eh?
I thought he was honestly brilliant. God love him. He was brilliant. A motivator and getting the best out of people. And then he turned around. Brief, listen, for the length of time I was there, they won the cup, and then I had to leave again, my last game against Celtic.
Yeah. See, just before we go on to that, Davy Cooper, how good is he?
Well, when the Dutch boys and Ruud Gullit and Cruyff and all say that he's the only Scots fella could ever get in the Holland team or a Dutch team, that tells you everything. He was brilliant. And it didn't matter about it. And today the game was pace. You know, you forget about the people with their brains. And he had a football brain which is way beyond. You know, and he just dropped the shoulder and he just sailed you a dummy, just not with quick movements, just a wee drop there and a wee entice you in, and he was brilliant. Yeah. And I spent a lot of time with
Would he be your social partner, drinking partner?
Yeah. Because he couldn't drive. Coops only learned to drive in the last couple of years of his life. God love him. And I would pick him up. You know, Coops was on the train from Motherwell to Glasgow and then get the tube to Ibrox. Coops was starting for Rangers. He was a brilliant player, and he was on the tube from Queen Street to Ibrox and all. And they called him the Moody Blue, but he was far from it. He was brilliant.
Could he drink?
But he wouldn't drink in excess. He's just, you know, just sitting have a few pints and then but it was good fun.
Brilliant. Right, you mentioned that he beat Celtic 3-2 in the League Cup final. McCoist hat-trick that day. Favourite Ali McCoist story? He's been on here, he's tremendous, isn't he?
I know. He's
different class,
if anybody loves life, if there's anybody loves life more than Ali, then I haven't met him. He's great. But the thing with Ali was he took his football really serious, didn't he?
Was he a moaner on the pitch?
Oh, I remember Ali playing for Rangers in Europe up front in his own. And they always say he's a 6-yard box player. Yeah, if you're home to a certain opposition at Ibrox, you can wait around, we'll create chances for you. But away from home in Europe, my picture of Ali is just running from full back to centre half to full back to doing that on his own. His arse off, working. And but he loved his football and he was a great character. And Davy Cooper told me, he says, he got back in the Scotland squad after a couple of hours, or a couple of years. I think it was Andy Roxburgh brought him back. It was out for a wee while anyway. They meet in Glasgow on a Sunday night, and McCoist, as you know, he's famous for being late for everything. Yeah. And he's supposed to pick Davy up at Motherwell 6 o'clock to get their hotel in Glasgow for 6:30. And it's 5 past, and Coop hasn't been in scored for a couple of years. It's 5 past 6, 10 past 6, no McCoist. It's 20 past 6. And he's phoning a taxi, Coops. And McCoist comes racing into this drive. You know, he comes and he puts the phone down, he jumps on the motor, and Coops was raging. He said, I was raging with him. I said, see you're a joke. I said, 2 years I haven't been in the squad. I'm going to be late now. You're a joke. It's all right, everybody loves you, they all love you. But no, not me, but you're a joke, you're inconsiderate. I called, and he's going through the car with him. And I haven't swore, but he was swearing all that. And Coops, you go, hey, Coops, settle down, Coops. Settle down, he says. It's because I like you and respect you, he said. This is the earliest ever I've been late for anybody, right? So he just, and the day that he had the shoes, he had these big boots, East Kilbride, you know the snow? He bought these big boots. And Gerrard was injured. And we were away training. He came in with these big boots on, brand new. He said, look at these here, babies. Oh, this will get me through the winter now. Gerrard's injured. We go away training. We come back. McCoy's boots are there. But Gerrard's painted 3 stripes down the sides of them like Adidas boots. So he comes in. So McCoy comes in. He sees his brand new boots. So and he knows Gerrard's injured. So he goes, look at him. Look at that wee shite. Look what he's done. And Gerrard walks in and he grabs a boot. He's grabbed a boot to throw it at him. But we Tranty had nailed his boot to the wooden floor, right through the big 6-inch nail. So then he pulls his shoulder out. He goes,
Oh, brilliant, man.
I loved it. Oh, him and Gerrard were just full on all the time.
Was Gerrard and Derek Ferguson, were they pests?
Brilliant.
Derek Ferguson messaged saying that how much he loved you.
Oh, that's nice, because they were young lads, and even then I felt, what age was I then? So I was the elder statesman in a way. Big butcher. They were all there. Yeah. But they were young lads, you know, and you'd seen all the carry-on and all the rest. You'd had the T-shirts, so you'd seen them all enjoying their football, enjoying their training, enjoying themselves. It was great.
Did you? Derek says you were the first to do the spin trick.
Aye,
the first. Table,
aye, well that way you've done, you know it, don't you?
The
big ladle. I used to do it and draw blood. The boy would go, jeez.
Brilliant, man. You mentioned him there. How was Wilkins? Just before we go.
Well, I mean, he was just class personified. He was brilliant. And one of the boys wound him up. I think it was Wheeler McCarry wound him up, and he says, "You stay in the Piccadilly Hotel. When you come to, you stay in the Piccadilly Hotel."
Right.
And Wheeler would wind them all up. Any new player, and he would turn around and say, "Right." And he's in his room. Ray's in his room, and the phone goes, "Hello, yeah. It's reception, yes. She'll be up in 5 minutes." "Who'll be up in 5 minutes?" "Who'll be up in 5 minutes?" "Yeah, the lady will be up in 5 minutes." What are you saying then? What are you?
Buzzing.
Well, and the boys, so it's Lou's got a bloke lined up who lets on that. He says, "Well, listen, I've worked at this hotel for years, and I'm a United supporter, and the tradition is any new players, they're sent a woman to the room, and they'll, no. She'll be up in 5 minutes. You won't be disappointed." "Oh, don't do that."
That was brilliant. Just lastly, on your first spell at Rangers, Jock Wallace give you the captain's armband on your last appearance.
Yeah, he did.
And then you made an arse.
I got sent off after 55 minutes, I think it was. And
were you buzzing to be captain too?
I was pumped, but I didn't need to be pumped, but it was my last game. I was going to Toronto on Monday, and I thought that would be it. And he says, "Come on, right, you're captain today." Well, that was it. I think I can't remember. Was it Brian McClure or Tommy? I can't remember. But I took a stupid. Somebody hit me once. Somebody hit me late twice. I took a stupid wee kick out. It wasn't nothing. And then the linesman, and they sent me off 55 minutes. I thought, God, what a way to finish. There was nil each at the time, and Bobby Williamson scored with an overhead kick to beat them 1-0 with 10 against 10 men. So with 10 men, sorry, and there was all straw hats and trumpets in the dressing room. Then Big Jock Wallace came in, kicked the door in. He said, "You're the luckiest man in the world," he says. "Made you captain for a day. You let yourself down, you nearly let your teammates down, you nearly let the club down. But you were lucky to win," he says, "because you're going to Toronto on Monday." He said, "If we hadn't won that game," he said, "I'd have kicked your arse so hard you wouldn't have needed a plane to get there. You'd have landed in Toronto. But I love you." He always used to finish like that. A big bear hug.
Brilliant. See, when you left Rangers that first time, did you think that'd be it? Did you ever think you'd get back again?
Yeah, because I had to go back out to Toronto and then finish off my contract till 84.
And then a wee spell at West Brom?
Well, that was it. Johnny Giles was a manager. Norman Hunter was assistant manager.
Wow,
and Nobby Stage took the reserves. It was great. And it was only, again, I took up my option at Toronto, 2-year option. And again, I thought I was only going to be there 6 months. But the league folded over in America. And Johnny said, "Just sign for us for 2 years." And I signed for 2 years from 84 to 86.
Brilliant.
And I loved it. And I was struggling a wee bit, but just working with Johnny Giles and
they were legends, weren't they?
They were absolute, and they would still train. And Norman Hunter trained the way he played, smashing into people. Nobby Stiles is over there taking the reserves. Tony Brown, a goal scorer midfielder, West Brom, taking the kids. These are all, Nobby Stiles used to carry 2 bags of balls. Won the World Cup with England, won the European Cup with Man Utd. Was carrying 2. So why are you carrying balls? I used to go and watch the kids, and why are you carrying them balls? You're fucking winning World Cups. And he says, "No."
That's why he's won the World Cup, because he's that kind of guy.
I'm doing it. World Cup in 86, Mexico, and then Scotland were there. We're flying back. They were on the plane before us. The drunkest people in the world were on that plane, them Scotch boys. And then they picked us up and we get on it. So it was great having a Yahoo. It was a funny. Charlie Nicholas and Souness, they were all there. Stevie Nicholl was the funniest, him and Alan Ruff.
Stevie Nicholl played over to it.
Yeah, it was brilliant. He's going about with his glasses, the big pop again.
They wonder when they can ask every World Cup.
Stevie Nicholl's going to Billy Bingham. What have Brazilians ever done for world football? And these glasses are going.
Oh, brilliant, man. Was that when Souness spoke to you about Rangers?
He was at the back of the plane. Now, I had no idea that, because I was at West Brom, I didn't know what the crack was up north, that Graeme was at Sampdoria. I didn't know he was going in the Rangers. So I remember just, you know, it's like, and you get a wee bit of a lull, and there was just, the boys were sleeping. There was a wee bit of a lull, and I went down the back of the plane in that galley thing. And Graeme's there was somebody else, and they're having a glass of champagne they're drinking. So,
Of course, he's having champagne.
yeah, it must have been. He says, "You were Rangers, Jimmy, weren't you?" I says, "I was there in '83, 6 months. Kind of loved it. It was great, you know." And that was it. He never said anything. And then I'll go back pre-season with West Brom and Saunders. They played Hibs on the Saturday. Saunders on the Tuesday said, "Come here, well, Graeme Souness been on the phone from Rangers. Well, he's got a player by Bobby Williamson, and I know wee Bobby from Rotherham days. So wee Bobby's coming down here, and you're going up there in a straight swap."
No brainer.
I was off that training pitch. Away I went, got my gear, got my boots, drove to Manchester, and then drove up to Glasgow, signed Thursday, trained Friday, and I was at the Hibs Easter Road on Souness' first game when he got George McCluskey, and I was he's done George McCluskey in his first, and that was it. And that was whenever.
What was Souness? See, when you first went, what was Souness like on the training ground and stuff like that? Did he have that presence about him?
The best thing that happened to me was when I took the reserves, because I seen the other side of Graeme, which I'm glad I seen, because I didn't see it. But you didn't see it when he was a manager. He was just. But when I seen him when I was in the staff room then, from 9 o'clock to 10:20, he was brilliant, funny, speak about anything and everything up there. Him and Walter built full boards and all. We used to sit, brilliant. 10:20, the mask came on. And the mask came on, I've got to show the players that side of me. You know.
Mate, Derek Ferry said he would join in and he would smash boys. He
did it. He did. I was there at 3. I was in the training session, and wee Durante hit him, and then he hit wee Durante, and then Fergie hit Souness for hitting Durante, and then Souness hit Fergie, and then Durante hit. It just kept bouncing off. He's bang, and then Souness on the floor once, and he gets up, and he goes, "Oh, both of them brilliant," and it just got out of hand. And the respect that Walter, and I loved Walter Smith, and I still do, and the respect that Walter Smith had from everybody. I've never seen an assistant manager stop a training session before. And it was getting out of hand, and Walter just blew the whistle. And went, "Stop, you ever had the ball at the time? Stop, don't kick that ball any further," right? Walks over, picks the ball up. He said, "Right, all these, get in. It's getting out of hand. Please go."
Just sent everyone in.
Just sent everybody in, get in. And the way, because it was competitive. You know, and then that's without McCoist now joining in, because McCoist could look after himself.
Did he put that about McCoist,
I had to referee a game up with Jordan Hill one day. And because I was taking reserves, but the reserves, so I'm watching the first team training. I would just keep myself fit if he needed me. But he said, "Jimmy, referee this game, Ramble." And Susan Walter Smith says, "They're over there." And I'm refereeing the game. And I said, "What's conditions?" He said, "Whatever you want." I said, "All in, right, all in. Right, we'll go 3 touch, right? The next, we'll go 2 touch and then we'll build it up again. So 2 touch." And the ball comes to Coist, and he takes 3 touches, right? And I go, "Free kick. What for?" "You took 3 touches." "No, I didn't." I said, "You did. You took 3 touches. It's a free kick." But I didn't. And he starts walking this way. He's walking towards me. I said, "I never took." I said, "Alec, you took 3 touches, right?" And then I said, "It's not my fault if you're not skillful enough that you have to take 3 touches instead of 2 like everybody else." And he goes, and then he hooks me. And
no chance.
He hooked me, and I just put my head back. He just catches me under the chin. If I stayed like that, and he just like, and that, next thing you're on the ground.
How big a deal was it to become a champion with Rangers 1987?
Well, I'm the luckiest man in the world, because when you go there the first time, you think that's the end of it, and then you end up going back at a time when he more or less revolutionised Scottish football, you know, buys England captain, buys England goalkeeper, surrounds himself with good players and a great assistant, Walter Smith, and hadn't been done for so many years. I never thought I'd be in that position. You know, you think, listen, this is what it's like in football. Don't forget, the summer, that May would won the league, and they'd won it for years. The May before, I was training West Brom kids. You know what I mean?
How quickly football turns.
It's just changed. So for me to be in that position, whereas going into the 86, 87 season, probably just training with the kids again for another year, I don't know, and to win a league title with Rangers. And at my age, you think, God, this is great. You know?
Is Souness big on everyone going out together as well as a team?
I think so, but I mean, he banned the golf.
Did he?
Banned the golf, yeah, he banned the golf, and the golf was a big part of it, and he banned it. And he's probably right, because he used to say, if you play golf on the Wednesday, you work hard Tuesday. If you play golf on the Wednesday, it's still in your legs on the Thursday. So then, so I'm banning the golf. And then I had to go to him and say, listen, this is Tuesday afternoon. Oh, can we play Tuesday afternoon then? And then we'll have Wednesday with the kids and their families. And I had to say that. But originally when he banned it on the Wednesday, he was right, you're not playing. And if I find out any user, because I'll find out, because the phone would go on a Monday morning.
Yeah.
A phone would go. I didn't know until I was on the staff the amount of people that phoned the club on a Monday.
Telling them what the players had been
Where
there.
all the boys had been the weekend. And it was the same in the golf. All right? Because if he puts it out there publicly in the papers, I banned the golf on a Wednesday.
Then people will start telling him.
Yeah.
He's not daft to...
You're somebody, Celtic supporter,
Yeah.
at a golf club saying, your boys are out golfing a day at Bothwell or whatever it is, wherever they go, Dunblane. You know what I mean? So, well, I do, listen, we'll go out on a Tuesday afternoon.
So would that team drink together? Would they be big drinkers?
Oh, aye.
Who'd be it?
Who wasn't out? I mean, they were all out. I mean, but you had your Bridge of Allen boys there, you had Big Butcher and Graeme Roberts, of course, forgot about him, Robbo and Kevin Dringle, Chris Wood, you had all them boys, and then you had all us on the other side, and Cricklewood and a Sunday lunch.
Did you?
Oh, Cricklewood and a Sunday lunch. And then we'd go out in Hamilton then again in the cause. But the bulk of time was the wee afternoon sessions were. And then Graeme he would have us in the Sunday morning.
Would he?
Aye.
Boys hate that?
No, I loved it.
You got the Monday?
Didn't do anything with massages. He just said, away you go. Get the treatment tables. Get the showers on. Get the soap. Buckets of soap now. Just all the massages were going on then.
Straight to the pub. Oh, brilliant,
It was brilliant.
Who was the best laugh on a day?
Them all. Peter Ante, of course, was just non-stop.
Just winding Peter up all the time.
Just non-stop. Coops and just in an alley, of course, But you were in. I remember being in the Cricklewood and Sunday lunch and with supporters pulling up chairs and that.
Just sitting there,
just covered and sitting and having a beer and honestly. Let's say, would you like to be playing today? Yes, I would. I would miss some things.
Stuff like that.
That wee bit that people are too quick to get on their phones, but I'd love to be playing today. Yeah.
Did you ever get the other side? That obviously you're from Northern Ireland. Did you ever get any trouble when you were in Glasgow?
I was safer in Belfast than Glasgow.
Really, yeah?
Because in Belfast I knew where to go, where not to go. In Glasgow, half a city loves you and half a city hates you. I've had people waiting on me in car parks after speaking at dinners and all.
Have you?
Celtic men, aye. So it's just, I didn't enjoy that story you told about it. It's only a football story, lads,
Yeah.
So, but in Belfast, you know where they're going. But Belfast isn't like that now. Belfast is rocking at the minute.
See, just last on Souness, what's the worst you've seen him go at somebody?
Oh, Graeme Roberts.
What for?
Well, he didn't go at him. It's just an incident that happens that that, listen, you got to back down here with Graeme. You better back down because there's only one winner here. And, I mean, Graeme could look after himself.
Graeme Roberts or Graeme Souness, both?
Graeme Souness.
Right.
And, but we played Aberdeen at Ibrox. And they beat us 1-0. And we all come up. Robbo's still deep. Aberdeen scores. So Graeme comes in and says, what are you doing, Robbo? I mean, what? The goal. He said, are you blaming me for the goal? I am blaming you for the goal. Why? How come you blaming me? Because the back four stepped up and you stayed in and Aberdeen's, and that wasn't my fault. So then I said, Robbo, come on, settle it. Listen, you should have been pushed. What are you saying? What's my fault? So Graeme just, are you telling me that you're not taking responsibility for that goal? I'm not taking responsibility for that goal. In the shower, get your boots. You'll never kick another ball for us.
Wow.
And he never kicked another ball.
Because he wouldn't admit to being up.
Never kicked another ball.
Was Walter the same as Souness? Could he be just as scary, Walter?
Scarier.
Was he?
Oh, I seen Walter come into a room once. We were sitting on the pint when we shouldn't have done at a hotel. A couple of nights before a game, and some of the boys were sitting on the pint, and he just come in the door. You're all sitting there. We got a move in this hotel. You could get, you know what, one of them things where the hotel that films, right. You could plug it, you could push it in there.
Watch the film.
Then because they were upstairs drinking, having a glass of wine and all good, and May Wilkins, because that's what they did, didn't they? They had a glass of red wine with their dinner. And our boys thought it was all right to have a few pints. So they went to this room, organised it, get in that room, stick a film in, we're watching whatever it was. Come on, you fancy a couple of pints? I'm having a glass of wine up there. Hello, yeah, send us down here in Laggers. So the Laggers came. And I think it was a wee flack. He just had to, and the door open. Walter comes, and I'm sitting in the back of the room, and Walter comes in that door. A wee flaggy, and he just sneaks quietly up in there. And he said, he's just about to put it in his mouth to watch his film, and he grabbed the glass up and fuck! Smashes it, the pint pot, up against the wall. Right, the laddies, up the stairs. You think you're hard drinking pint before it, and then but they're having battles away up there to get up. You could see Walter.
Could he go? Could you tell back then he was going to be a top manager, even when he was an assistant?
Yeah.
He could have.
Yeah. Because in Graeme, listen. I don't know how the other players felt, but I felt it. If I wasn't playing well for 3 or 4 weeks in a row, you'd go and buy somebody else. Yeah. You could do that then, you know. So, but it wasn't a case of Jimmy, come here, going, you're having a hard time at the minute, and try this or do this. So why don't? There's none of that. You just get through it. If you weren't playing well, in my opinion, this is it. We'll go and buy somebody else. Whereas Walter Graeme was like, ruthless, you know, and rightly so. Yeah. Whereas Walter was a wee bit more understanding. You know, if you said, Walter, I'm having a hard time at the minute. Is anything in my game that, you know, you don't think's right and all. So you could talk to him. I would never dream of saying that to Graeme because, listen, he's got to win the league. Yeah. You know, so if you're not doing your job. Yeah. You got to win. If you're not doing your job, well, go and get somebody else can do it, you know. But Walter over the years was, yeah. Oh, you could always, you could tell that Walter was going to take it off.
Just finally on the Rangers, you won another title in your final year. Why did you leave?
Because, like I said, that was it, and I was 32. I was 32. I was going into the next season, and I thought, that's it. I'm going to wrap it. And the young lads in the reserves, and I'm going to help. I'm going to concentrate on the coaching, and I'm going to bring the young lads through. And that was the idea. And I was living in a nice house in Baltimore on the golf course, and that was it. And then I got a phone call. I got a phone call from Jim Leishman. He says, we've just been promoted, Dunfermline. We need experienced players. We've got Big Dougie Rugby. We've got this Van Cosmo. Listen, we've seen you've been playing with reserves and you're in there. What's your situation? Now here's me sitting, I'm going to pack it in. Deep down knowing that I've always said to myself, after the Bobby Charlton thing, reading that affected me, that. For him regretting that. Yeah, so I always thought to myself, I'll play the game. Play the game as long as you can because you're a long time not playing. And it was that moment where I thought, here's an opportunity to keep playing. And my gut feeling was, God, I fancy that. And he says, right, what's the score? I said, I'll go and speak to Graeme and Walter. And went in. I had a phone call from Big Lease. Went to go and help him try and stay in it, you know. And Graeme, what are you thinking? I said, yes, I want to play. I really miss playing. He said, well, I'd be the same. He said, if it wasn't for the Rangers job, I'd probably still be at Sampdoria. Yeah. So, that was it. So I left and went to Dunfermline, and that's why I left, because I've just resigned the fact I would have my last game at 32, taking reserves, seeing what would happen in the coaching world after that. Quickly
onto the World Cups in Northern Ireland. Do you not like speaking about these? Somebody said.
No, I don't like speaking about 86. 86 was because you want to go and do your best, we didn't do it.
Why not?
Because we were poor. We drew 1 each with Algeria, got beat 2-1 by Spain, got cut by Brazil 3-0. You know, it was a different. You you felt inferior. You felt it.
That's a horrible feeling, that, isn't it?
You know what I mean? You think, shouldn't be on the same. I shouldn't be playing the same game as some of these boys. You know. Whereas the other time, I never felt like that.
82.
The first, and the expectation, because 82 and 86, the whole vibe was totally different. It was a great experience for the supporters, the players, everybody. It was brilliant. But as a professional sense, gee, we've never done ourselves. You know.
82 then, what's your favourite memory for 82?
Beating Spain Friday night, 1-0, down to 10 men. And we drew with Yugoslavia in the lead, so we drew with Honduras 1 each. And we're based in Valencia, but we flew up to Zaragoza for the games and then back to Valencia to the base. And then the last game was Spain in Valencia, the home nation. And listen, the odds are we've got no chance. Beat
Jerry
them
Armstrong.
1-0. And Big Jerry Armstrong scored from across with Billy Hamilton outside right. And I remember Big Billy Hamilton. And Big Billy was a big centre forward, Oxford United, big hardy boy. But Big Jerry Armstrong played outside right in that tournament. And it just shows you, and Billy Bingham always said to me, he says, I had 2 years with Billy's assistant. He said, Jimmy, never underestimate the importance of your senior players. In 82, before we went to Spain, we had 10 days in Brighton. Northern Ireland had 10 days in Brighton. Scotland went to America. England went to America. Northern Ireland went to Brighton. Right? We're the luckiest people in the world. It was the best summer for years and years. They had to send over for sunblock and something and all that. Everybody was burnt with the next night.
What were you, factor 50? You're
Factor 50, yeah, I know. Factor 50 was shit. It was the best summer ever. And so it was hard. And it was like a pre-season getting ourselves. Anyway, going to Spain from Brighton, from Gatwick, and Big Pat Jennings said to Billy Bingham, he says, I don't know what your thoughts are and what the team's going to be. I'm not asking what the team's going to be. But he said, see them 10 days? He says, Norman Whiteside's your best finisher. But he's only 16, he hasn't kicked a ball for Man United. He said, I'm just telling you, he's the best finisher. He said, Big Billy Hamilton, your centre forward, take a touch. Big Jerry Armstrong, take. So by the time they take their touch, I can come out and get my angles and get myself set. Norman, poof.
Oh, so it was the goalie who had seen in training that he was a bit right, okay,
yes,
yeah.
Right? So because he's up against him, the cross and the finish
right,
and the shooting now, he said, Whiteside's the best finisher. The ball's gone past me as I'm on the way out. As I'm on the way out, set myself up for angles,
got it away.
touching in the back of net. Whereas the other ones touch, weigh things up. I can be on top of it. He said, he's the best finisher. I'm just telling you, he's the best finisher, that young lad. What happens? We get to Spain. Big Jerry plays outside right. It was Jerry Armstrong and Billy Hamilton were up front. They were the ones that got us to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Big Jerry went to outside right. Norman Whiteside went centre forward with Billy Hamilton.
At 16-year-old.
Jerry Armstrong was then voted the British player of the tournament at outside right.
Wow.
Because he was fit.
Mad how things work out, isn't it?
I know.
Could you have a drink in? Would you have like the days off and that? Would you be able to have a drink now?
There was something happened at I don't know. So.
Go on, tell us.
Suzo's nightclub. Oh my God. We played Yugoslavia and we went up to Zaragoza. We were in Valencia, fly to Zaragoza, play the game and fly back. And so we flew back. And footballers being footballers, you think, oh, I played football. I'm having a night out. We never thought anything of it. So, it sounds bad, sounds unprofessional. I don't know where I should. But we went out after the game. 4 or 5 of us went out. Went to Suzo's nightclub.
That's all right.
No, it wasn't all right because nobody. No, it wasn't allowed.
Right.
We didn't know. We just thought, come on, get sharp, get the jeans on, get the t-shirt on, let's go out one down. Right? And 2 days later, after the Yugoslavia game, the press came to me and says, Jimmy, what? Has Billy seen you yet? I says, why? It's in the papers, what? About you being in Suzo's nightclub after the Yugoslavia game. Drank the nightclub out of drink. Steaming, falling out the place. Right? So, you're joking. It's in the papers. Oh, jeez, we got that. I don't even know if we shouldn't even been out. It was only 4 or 5 of us. And he said, well, so I go around all the players, the ones who were mentioned in the paper, just the ones who were out, just deny it. just denied. We weren't out. We never weren't out. So then we're training 2 days later. We're training, and Billy's walking around. He comes to me and he says, Jim, I don't know if it's been brought to your attention, but it's in the papers that you were in Suzo's nightclub 2 nights ago after the Yugoslavia game. And I says, how can I be in Suzo's nightclub, Billy? Because the game was up and about fly back. I wouldn't have been there at about 1 or 2 in the morning. How can I be in Suzo's nightclub? It's ridiculous. Yes, Jim, don't get up. I know. Propaganda, Jim, propaganda.
So you got away with it?
So I go jogging right into the next one before Billy gets to him. And I said, big Billy Hamilton, Billy, just deny it. Billy thinks it's propaganda, just deny it. Run in the next one, just deny it. So he went around to the Fiver, mentioned the paper, the Fiver, right. I don't know where I got the names from with it. So that was a wee bit scary there, but.
What was your thoughts playing the League Cup final? You Celtic. Did you think you could beat them?
Well, at the time, everybody was talking about the Raith Rovers have no chance. Even though Celtic's form was poor going in the final, it didn't really matter. It was a final Celtic were expected to win. So, but it was like everything else. When you're in that position, I never ever spoke to anybody about Man United and Rangers. The only thing I ever spoke about players is what you can actually achieve when you put your mind to it. Was Northern Ireland beating Spain 1-0 in Spain? I would always refer to that game. What you can actually do, a group of players going about the job properly, doing their job the best they can, what you can actually achieve in a game. And that's the only thing I ever spoke to Raith Rovers players about that. And then going into the game, you have a decision to make, and the decision was, because we'd experienced players in the group, and God, Ian Redford and all, God love them, and we'd experienced players about the place running. I decided to play the kids. I spoke with Martin Harvey, my assistant, who was a great assistant for me. He was the assistant manager with Billy Bingham in Northern Ireland, and I brought him to Raith. And he was great for me, so he was. And he just kept me, and so I'm going to play the kids, 3-5-2, and play the 3 in the middle of the park. But Stevie Crawford's a centre forward. It doesn't matter. Jason Durr's a winger. It doesn't matter. Mickey Cameron's a mid.
Why did you decide to do that?
Because I wanted
just legs
that
and
energy.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah, I wanted the energy. And the worst thing that happened when you're playing Celtic and Rangers is you can be confident. You can be this. You preparate. But if you get an early setback, if the score against you early, then you get a wee setback, and that's stuffing out of you. Even senior players. So I thought, it won't knock the stuffing out of young ones.
Kids,
and they'll still have their legs. Yeah. They've got the energy to do something about the situation. So my only thinking, to be honest with you, was, although they might have been out of position, Stevie and Jason, I wasn't worried. We kept talking about, me and Martin kept talking about the energy in the middle of the park. Paul McStay, Peter, just the energy. And unfortunately there were senior players that missed out on it, but it turned out all right. And whenever we scored, the equaliser, it proved dividends in the extra time. Should have won it in extra time. Should have won, only because of that. The experience that we had with Big Ali Graeme and Gordon Dale, the experience, David Neary was voted man of match. David Neary was brilliant. Yeah. A brilliant asset he was for us, because it's Sean Dennis and Davy Sinclair, 2 aggressive young centre-half. Big Davy Neary looked after them. He's voted man of match.
How was the nerves when it went to penalties?
Well, the only thing I ever said to him, because I took penalties before I said, if it gets the penalties, lads, we may as well practice them. Again, the only thing I said to him is, and the people don't realise that, it was announced that the League Cup winners, it was going to be the last time that they could represent Scotland in Europe. Right. That was the last time it was ever going to happen. And so, anybody can win a cup on the day. Even, if the opposition are off their game or whatever, you might be lucky. You can win it overnight. But to get into Europe, so I'd say to players, listen lads, this is an incredible situation here. Raith Rovers are 90 minutes away from Europe. That's the only thing I ever said to him. We're 90 minutes away from Europe. Extra time. Listen lads, we're 30 minutes away from Europe. Raith Rovers, 30 minutes away from Europe. We're a penalty kick. Listen, we're a penalty kick away from Europe. That's what I should say to him. Yeah. That's the only thing I said. A penalty kick away from Europe, lads. represent Scotland. And so when they did it, and people say, it must have been great for you, Jimmy, beating Celtic at Ibrox. Listen, it was, but the biggest thing was Raith Rovers going to represent Scotland in Europe the following year. That's all I kept thinking.
Would that have been one of the best feelings in your career, winning that?
Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
That, beating Liverpool in the Cup, and Northern Ireland beating Spain. All the 3 times that you weren't expected to do anything. You weren't expected to do anything, and you actually achieved it. That's, if you're playing for big clubs and 8 or 9 years are playing well and 2 or 3 of us aren't, we can still win a game of football.
Yeah.
That's not the case with Northern Ireland and Raith in them days.
Right, just quickly, Jimmy, Millwall, is it as tough as they make it?
Listen, it was great for me because you have to gain experiences in this job and how you can handle situations. Now, I had it so good at Raith Rovers for 6 years. We started off part-time and them boys give you everything. And they went on to achieve what they achieved. And I went from that to then working with fellas on a lot more money. In them days, even then, it's 5, 6, 8 grand a week. Cars, Russians, Germans, Croat, all different cultures, all different. And it was a learning curve for me. And I never handled it.
No.
I fell out with everybody.
Why just?
Standards, I just thought they could swan about and do it. I had a boy walked off it on Thursday. We're winning the Saturday. We're training the following Thursday. And there's a big boy, Uwe Fuchs, centre forward. And so it's 11:30 then, the Thursday morning. They say, right lads, crossing and finishing. Right, full back swingers, get away, do this, do that. And big Uwe's walking off the pitch. Now, there was a group of about 10, 12 old men who used to watch the training every day. And they're all standing there. And Uwe walks off the pitch. I said, where are you going, Uwe? He says, it is 11:30 and I finished training now. I go see the physio and then I have a massage and I have... No. We're doing crossing and finishing here. Yes, he says, but in Germany, I said, don't care about Germany, what you did in Germany. Don't care what you did with the previous manager. You're not in Germany now. And we're doing crossing and finishing. And the evidence of last week, you need it. So stay out here. He says, no. He says, in Germany, I did. I said, don't care what you did in Germany. I don't care. Now, if you walk off his training session, you walk in that shower and bump that you're not involved the weekend. And he walked off. I get a phone call 2:30 from Graeme, the chief executive. He said, Jimmy, get yourself to the ground. I went from training ground over to the new den. He said, did you have an incident with Uwe Fuchs today? I says, aye. He walked off the training pitch at 11:30. And he says, well, he phoned us from Gatwick Airport. And he says that he's not coming back to Millwall because you mentioned the war. I said, I mentioned the war. I never mentioned the war. I says, I kept saying Germany, but I kept saying he's not in Germany. I never mentioned the war. You never seen him again.
Wow.
He went to Hansa Rostock on loan.
Crazy.
So all these different things just, and it was a learning curve.
Did you ever get a scary experience with the fans? Did they ever turn on you?
At 300 waiting for me in the car park, threw me in the office.
Shitting yourself?
Aye. There was a bloke who played, we got beat by Woking in the Cup in the middle of January. And there was a bloke at the training ground on his own. And Keith Stevens, the captain, says, all right, Gaff, I think I've got a contract out. You want to see this boy? Scurry. Crombie the hanky. And I said, where you go, lads, for your warm-up? So I go over to the bloke and I says, are you a friend of one of the players? Can I help you? He said, no, Jimmy. He says, I'm one of the Millwall men from the 60s, 70s. And he said, I'm going to tell you now, he says, there's still a hardcore out there, 30, 40, and they're going to get you at the weekend.
Fuck's sake.
And I says, what do you mean? Physically, they're going to get you. Believe me, they're going to get you. So I get a phone call from Graeme. Get yourself over to Den. Over to Den that afternoon. He said, Jimmy, this is Chief Inspector Jones or whatever his name was. He says, we've got people in pubs and all, Jimmy, and just let you know that there's a wee hardcore and they're going to get you at the weekend. We're home to Preston. They're going to get you at the weekend. So where are you going to be sitting? Well, for a start, I know all about it. Why? Because there's a bloke at the training ground told me this morning. He said, well, where are you going? I said, I'm going to be in the dugout. He said, well, we'll have people around the dugout. But if you're going to be in the director's box, we'll have people around the director's box. Couldn't be 2-0. We'll win 3-2. Went up to Sheffield United on the Tuesday night, got beat 1-0. We're playing Bristol City the Saturday. The Blokes are again the Thursday. You were lucky last week. They're going to get you this week. Getting beat 1-0 by Bristol City, 1 each, 2-1. Big Joe Jordan's the manager of Bristol City. Getting beat 2-1. From the centre, ball breaks for a throw-in. I'm screaming for a throw-in. Big Joe's screaming for a throw-in. I turn, Joe, you're winning the game 2-1. It's only a throw-in. I'm fine for my life here. It's our throw-in. Right? And then he hears cheer go, all around the ground. Turn round. They're coming on the pitch this way. They grab me, a policeman, a policewoman, 4:30, grab me, up the tunnel, bring down the big shutters, open the office, and threw me in the office. 10-7, they threw me in the back of a car.
Oh my
10-7.
God,
If Jerry Docks, our physio, got the car. And every now and again, the police would come in and you could see out the window. And there was horses and everything. The police said there's about 250, 300 out there. And they threw me in the back of a car 10-7.
You know who organised that, didn't you? Big Fox. Big Fox. Big striker.
Oh, big Fox. Yeah, Big Fox.
Just quickly, when you went back to Rangers as a coach, how did that come about?
I was at Falkirk with Paul Hartley. Paul asked me to go in.
Oh, so you did your assistant?
Yeah, I was at Falkirk. I was only there 4 or 5 weeks. And the phone goes, Stuart Robertson. And I thought, oh, Jesus, this will be about Michael. My first thought, this will be about Michael
O'Neill going to Rangers, like?
I thought maybe Stuart. I didn't know, but that was my first thought. And I took it out in the pitch because you couldn't get a good reception in the office. I took it out in the pitch. And I said, hi Stuart, how you doing? I met him at a couple of Rangers golf days and about Michael? He said, no, it's about you. I said, what? He says, Graeme's got a job till the end of the season. And he's asked if you'll come in with him till the end of the season. You know, I'm just putting the feelers out for him. And I said, oh, you're joking. I just nipped in and said to Paul. And I went in to Paul and said, listen, that's Graeme's got a job at the end of the season. He wants to know if he'll come in with and try and help him till the end of the season. But I'd only just arrived, you know, so they were good enough to give me. So he says, well, I'll go see Margaret. That shouldn't be a problem. So they did. They were good enough to let me go and give me an opportunity. You know, at my age, getting an opportunity like that, you gotta, you know.
You get the butterflies in that again, when even at that age,
when you're driving in, you know. You're driving in and from, you know, listen, you just stay in the game. You know, you have Cowden Beat, you have Falkirk, you have these places, and you just stay in the, just enjoy your working, and you all of a sudden you go to up the training ground, the barrier goes up, and there's your car park space, and you got this big motor, and away you go.
Living the dream.
This is great, even if it's only for 5-6 months.
How was the atmosphere when you first went in?
It was good because I went in one day, and the next day they flew to Florida because it was winter break.
How good.
So it was a great opportunity
to get to know the boys and stuff
2 weeks.
like that.
Brilliant. So once we get there, first thing I did, take everybody for a meal and all, because there was other signings come in, and it was great. Just everything was all, it was brilliant. I really, really enjoyed it.
Who did you like? What players did you like at Rangers when you first went? Who impressed you?
I know it sounds a wee bit, but all the Scotch boys.
Was it?
Aye. Me, Jason Holt and Andy Halliday and them boys, Graeme Dorrans and all, Ross McCrory, all of them. Some of the, you know, that's why I hate talking about it, because the Rangers give me an opportunity.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But you know, I honestly look there sometimes, like I said before, there was honestly people getting out of their cars didn't look as though they were in love with the game. And I'm like, this is a gift. And so you get to find out their characters and what they're like, and away you go. So, but unfortunately, it didn't work out for good.
But it started off well, didn't it? Because second half of the season, it started really well, didn't it?
It was good. I mean, for whatever reason, they've either took a wee turn themselves, thought, come on in, got a wee bit of form. Graeme goes in, does what he does with Jonathan Johansson. It was good. I enjoyed working. Didn't do much. Graeme was doing what I do the odd things that, you know, do what I do. Yeah. And really just with just individuals. Come on, you're better than that. Come on, you know, and just paint the picture a wee bit, and just contributing what you do in your own way. And
had the standards slipped a wee bit when you played at Rangers? So did you try and bring that back the standards back?
There were things happening that I couldn't do anything about. And once you give up, once the players give up, you give up yourself.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a thing about when Harry Redknapp was the manager of Spurs, and it's a 4 o'clock game on a Sunday, and they're all coming off the bus with headphones. And it looks terrible, doesn't it? It looks as though we're sitting in the bus not talking to each other. And they interviewed Harry, and they said that about the headphones. She says, Harry, what about all these players, the headphones coming? He said, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't like it. There's nothing I can do about it. Because if I take the headphones off them and they don't win a game, they'll tell me it's part of their preparation. You've interfered in my preparation. So that's what it's like. They're so sensitive, everything's so that. And so there was more good times than bad times. There was more good things happening than bad things. But it wasn't perfect. Because there's things going on and you turn around and think, come on, you're getting an opportunity to play for a club and and you're earning the money. God's sake, at least give us a decent training session. That sort of thing.
Right, okay.
But the bulk of them were all good.
Did you feel sorry for Graeme? I think it was after the 3-2 game at Celtic Park, it kind of went in a bit of a free fall. Did you feel sorry for Graeme?
Yeah, because that's when it did. That was the opportunity. That was the chance to do something about the situation.
See, before that, did you think we can do this? We can win it?
Honestly, listen, doesn't matter what we think, but if you go into work and you get a certain feeling that the players are confident, the players are enjoying it, you do get that feedback. Get that feedback that they're confident. If we get a wee setback, we'll be all right. We'll do so. But that never materialised, as it proved in the semi-final as well. So, but anyway, it was some experience. And then whenever Graeme, with 3 games to go, and they asked me or JJ to take over, and I said, well, I'll do it, but I'll need to ask Graeme first. And Graeme said, do it. So.
Did you love it, huh?
Well, we'll beat Kilmarnock, and we went up to Aberdeen, drew with Aberdeen, and then my last game was Hibs at Easter Road.
What was your score?
They were 3-0 down after 27 minutes. And I'm bringing on Bruno Alves.
What did it finish?
5-8.
Oh, 5-8. It was Lennon's last game as well, wasn't it? No, sorry, when he was in the...
But the Rangers supporters were down there. Of all the experiences I've had in football, I never thought I would experience. I thought I had an experience. We're 3-0 down after 27 minutes, and all the Rangers supporters are down there. And I just looked around and I thought, this is going to be 6 before half time. At 3-0, we'll still get a chance. I better bring on a centre half. JJ, well, get Bruno warmed up. He said, you're joking. He's a centre half. We're 3 down. I said, look, it's 6. If we don't get him on, get him on. And he goes on, and he gets out the dugout, and he runs down towards the Rangers supporters, and I can hear Rangers supporters booing, bringing on the centre half. Right? So I'm standing there, and I go, Bruno, come here. Halfway between Bruno coming from the corner to the halfway line, we scored 3-1.
Right.
Bruno gets his gear off, and JJ said, Jimmy, what? He's still doing this? We're still doing it, JJ. Get him on. Tell him what he's got to do. Just get him on. Who's coming off? I can't even remember who came off. Get him on. Bruno's getting his gear off. 3-2. So now I've got Jimmy Bell, wee Mourinho. He's a wee kit master. You can't do it now, right? JJ,
well, he's saying that. The kit man's telling you.
Both of them. You can't bring on Bruno. We're in the game. I said, we're bringing Bruno on, right? He's going on. Don't change it. They're all booing. I can hear what the hell's he doing? Somebody comes in. Bruno goes on. That's the reason why I come on, because I got a free kick, 30 yards from goal. Substitution around. Hook the boy. Bruno goes on. Takes a free kick and scores. I'm the best manager ever. Mourinho, Fergie, all wrapped up in one. It's 3 each now. In the dressing room half time, I said, lads, we're going to win this. We're going to win this because their defence is worse than ours. We'll be all right. That was the only thing I said. And then we go 4-3 up, 5-3 up. So the Rangers supporters, the ones that hadn't left, they can't believe what the 5-3 up there. God, they're singing the words of Sash to the tune of Sunshine on Leith. They don't know what's happening, right? They're so confused. And that's 5-4, 5 each. That's what we Neil's doing. They were playing and all, 5 each. And then that was it. That was.
Was it good to get that buzz back?
It was great. At least we went undefeated. You know what I mean? So we'll beat Kilmarnock. I know it doesn't matter. And then straight after the game, there was a meeting on the next day about new managers coming in, and so I spoke to Mark Allen. Mark said, "Listen," I said, "That's fair enough. Listen, thanks for the opportunity and great. And That was it, you know. So it was another episode and experience.
Will that be the last game we see you as a manager? Or are you going to go back in it?
Listen, I always say it doesn't frustrate me being number 2 and it doesn't frighten me being number 1. So I don't care. Whatever the circumstances are in the game, if anybody thinks you can contribute anything to a club that might be able to help, then I'm always sharing. I've always shared it. Listen, I don't care if I'm a kit man when I'm here, as long as I'm in the game.
Jimmy, it's been a pleasure. Absolutely loved it. Thanks very much, mate.
Great, Sim.
Cheers,
Good
mate.
to see you,
Thank you.
pal. Brilliant.